Angry guy here, and black women are facing extinction as black men avoid them. Guys, help get this channel to 100,000 subscribers by clicking on subscribe if you already haven't, like the video, and turn on notifications to never miss another video ever again. Now let's begin. Black women are facing extinction as black men avoid them. Let's just go ahead and jump into the first video.
I really try to keep it cute. I try to be understanding, be an adult about this whole inflation situation. But at this point, they're playing in our fucking faces. So originally I was seeing stuff go up 20, 50 cents or whatever. But what I really want to talk about is honestly the price of French fries and tater tots more importantly. They were $2.99. Then they went up to $3.29, which was okay. They are now $5.99, $5.99 in the stores. And I am at my wit's end. I'm finna just...
So the prices are actually doubling for everything. The cost of everything is skyrocketing. Women are no longer able to survive by themselves. And this has been going on for quite some time. They thought feminism freed them. They thought that feminism gave them the ability to walk away from relationships, to have their own money, to live their own lives free of men. But they didn't realize that life is hard. They didn't realize that on a single income, you can't afford everything anymore. See, they never took into consideration everything that a man provided, allowing them to have free time to go out and to spend time getting their nails done, getting their hair done, being able to go and grab a coffee in the middle of the day, being able to have time to hang out with friends, have a drink of wine in the middle of the day, being able to sleep, to heal, to take care of their skin, to go get their hair done, having essentially almost unlimited amounts of free time. But they took that for granted. They wanted more. They said that they wanted their own money, they wanted their own homes, they wanted their own car, they wanted it all. And it's ridiculous. Who wants to live in a house by yourself? Wouldn't you rather live in an apartment with a husband and your children than a house that's empty, that you can't even afford, and you don't even get to spend a lot of time in it because you're busy working to pay a mortgage that, again, you can't even afford? Women didn't take any of this into consideration. They failed to realize that they were in relationships with men that were giving them everything that they had. So you're in a relationship with this man, and he's covering all of the bills. He's giving you money for your pockets. So the mortgage is paid for by him. Anything that the house needs repairs, everything, it's paid for by him. The food is paid for by him. If you need money for anything, he always makes sure you have money in your pocket. And all you have to do is live within your means. You don't have to worry about how you're going to eat, how are you going to survive. He takes care of all of that. He finds other ways. He'll pick up extra hours. He'll pick up a second job. He will work hard. He will go without sleep to provide for you. And how do you treat him? You treat him like a second-class citizen. You don't even want to prepare a meal for him when he comes home, which is unbelievable. Because if he leaves in the morning, you're not preparing breakfast for him. You're not preparing lunch for him. When he comes home, you don't even want to have dinner ready for him. You don't even want to have a single meal ready for him. And by the way, weren't you preparing dinner for yourself? Well, that's different. You already ate earlier. So you didn't even bother to make enough for him. That's if you even prepare food, because you don't even want to prepare food. You want to order DoorDash and take out all day long, or have the restaurant that you enjoy deliver. Like, it's insanity, absolute insanity. You want to have a car so you can get around whenever you want to get around, which he also has to pay for. So he has to cover all of your living expenses, subsidize all of your living expenses. And what does he get out of it? your presence, your beauty. And when he comes home, you're not even wearing your makeup most of the time. You only wear your makeup when you go out and you're trying to look presentable for other men. You're not trying to look presentable for him. When you're home alone with him, you're not wearing makeup. You're wearing your yoga pants or your sweats, chilling in bed, watching Netflix, playing on your phone, and that's it. And he's responsible for everything else. And at best, you will split the housework with him. So when he comes home, he needs to, be an adult, stop looking for a mommy. And, you're going to split the laundry chores. You're going to split the cooking chores. You're going to split everything else that's on top of him working these long hours. Oh, but wait a minute. No, let's say you're also working. So he works, you work, but he still has to cover all of the cost, all of the expenses in the home. And, if you choose to help with anything, that's, great. But there's no equality in the relationship, because even if he's making $100,000 and you're making $50,000, his money is your money and your money is your money. So all of his money is going into paying for everything, and you're basically saying that the relationship is equal because you're investing $1,000 a month into the relationship, while he's covering everything in the relationship, everything. So he's pouring his entire salary, everything he makes into the relationship, leaving him with barely a few $1,000s at the end of the year. So his disposable income at the end of the year is, if he's lucky, maybe $5,000. You put $1,000 into the relationship, and if you were responsible with your money, let's be very clear, you end up with $30,000, $35,000 in disposable income that you're able to do whatever you want with, and you use it to buy purses, clothing, all of these other things. While this man has to make sacrifices, he can't do any of that. He has to be responsible, and this is the reality. This is the absolute reality that we live in. Women take men for granted. They think that it's a joke. And then you look at what's happening with young women today. You look at what's happening, especially with Black women, and you're seeing, and it's crazy because the rates of expiration are so, so, so high. Black women are passing away at rates faster than any other women. So I constantly come back to this article. US millennial women are now more likely to pass away in their late 20s and early 30s than any generation since the World War II generation. However, if you actually jump deeper into this, right? If you actually jump deeper into this, if you investigate it further, then you'll discover something very, very interesting, because the numbers are actually higher for Black women than for white women. So while millennial white women saw self deletion rates decline, young Black, American Indian, or Alaskan Native, mixed race, and Hispanic women experienced increases. Statistics for women of other ethnicities were not specifically presented. This is extreme, extreme. So check this out. Like with self deletions, rates of being deleted are higher among young women of color, the report said. Guys, this is absolutely massive. Absolutely massive. Virtually in every category, while women overall are passing away at rates greater than, and living in poverty and and destitution at rates greater than women born in 1928, since 1928, so basically higher than every other generation since 1928. On top of all of this, it's even more pronounced for Black women and other women of color. And this is the situation that women have put themselves into. And they will never admit to it, because they're too proud. They're too proud to admit to it. They're too entitled to admit to it. They're still walking around saying that they're the prize, and men need to understand that they're the prize. This is nonsense. The man brings the protection. The man brings his ability to provide. He is a protector. He is a provider right off the bat. What does the woman bring? She says that she brings her beauty and her presence. How does that help me in my life? How are you? How does your beauty and your presence help me? How do they add to my life? They don't. What you're saying is that I'm supposed to worship you. So you're in my life and I get to worship you. So, even though you don't even want to put on makeup when we're at home, I get to worship you because you are a woman. You don't cook, you don't clean, you don't create any value in the relationship, but your very presence is enough. That is your value. And any man that expects a woman to do anything else is a man who does not like women, and he is not a real man. A man that expects a woman to contribute anything whatsoever in a relationship because her presence is her contribution, because she is the table, and without her, there is no relationship. What's happening now is men realize they are the prize. And more men are saying, you know what? I'm not out here chasing these women. These women are out here looking for me. And the moment that men understand that they're the prize, it's over. And women, you see that there are some women who say, "Okay, I don't care." They'll start trying to shame dudes and say that y'all want the princess treatment. Y'all aren't going to get it. I'm not going to change. I'm fine being by myself. They're lying. Then you have them on social media trying to shame dudes about it, like, "Oh, you want to be a princess? You want to be a girl?" So they start going after your sexuality and they try to tear that down. And they somehow think that this is going to bring men back to the table and this is going to encourage men to want to date them. This is only going to push men away. And then you have to remember that women overseas in other countries will compete for these men. They want these men. They want to take these men. They want to build empires with these men. They want these men to come, be with them, and build their empire. And they will support these men as these men build their empire. And they will continue to fight so that these men will keep them around as they build their empire. So now these women who are smart, they get a man when they're in their 20s, and they support him in every possible way. And they find out what's going on because they want a man that has potential. And they're going to support this man and take care of this man and make sure that he is mentally sound, mentally on par. And they want to know what he's doing. Like, what's your goal? What do you want to do in life? And they're going to say, listen, I'm going to support you. I'm going to do whatever you do. Listen, man, I'm going to be up. I'm going to make sure that I'm up every morning making your breakfast, making sure you're doing this, making sure you're doing that. Okay, I'm going to support you so that you can go to the gym and work out. I'm going to support you so that you can be on top of your money and on top of your game. Anything I can do to enrich your life, I'm going to do it. If I have a background in accounting, I'm going to use that background in accounting to help us work towards our future, to help you build your wealth, to help you manage, to help you get loans, to help you get what you need to get so that you can build your empire. And now I can be a queen. I can be your queen in that empire. I am going to work as hard as I can to create value and to help you. I'm going to be your helper so that you can build your empire. And then I can sit alongside you as your queen. And I will continue to do my best and work my hardest to support you so that empire will continue to grow and prosper. Because when it grows and when it prospers, that's when I benefit. That's when I get. That's when I can benefit from your utility, and you won't leave me. And most women who are foreign, they understand that even if a man goes out and he has a relationship in a marriage with another woman, he still loves his wife. He is still loyal to his wife. There's a show called How to Get Away with Deletion. They use another word, but it was on ABC, How to Get Away with Deletion. And, you know, it was an intriguing story because in the story, in the show, and if you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, this woman, the main character, she's an attorney. She's married to this man. She's black. She's married to this white guy, and he basically cheats on her. He cheats on her with some like college girl, some young college girl, something like that. May have been one of his students. I don't remember. The point is, after he cheats on her, cheats on his wife with this young white college girl, this young white college girl thinks that she's going to go and take the place of his wife. She thinks that she's going to become Miss Cartwright. Guys, if you haven't seen, there's a movie, Tyler Perry movie, I think it is, and there's a scene where this woman basically checks this other woman, and she says, "You will never be Mrs. Cartwright," right? And This is literally what happens in How to Get Away with Deletion. This white girl, this young white girl, thinks that she's gonna go become Mrs. Cartwright. Like, this man is going to leave his wife, who is one of the best attorneys on the planet, a college professor, highly influential attorney, for this girl who can't even finish. Like, he's probably not going to finish school. And I believe she got pregnant and she wanted to go become Miss Cartwright. And she essentially put this man in a situation like, either you're going to basically leave your wife and I'm going to become Mrs. Cartwright, or else I'm going to destroy your marriage. And you know what ended up happening? Old boy said, okay, bet. You see, Mrs. Cartwright has her people. So all Mr. Cartwright did was he went and he spoke to her boys. He went and he spoke to her boy. And her boy is one really bad boy. And he basically said, listen, you're a part of this family. You know that you owe us. And this young woman, she thinks she's gonna become Mrs. Cartwright. Oh my gosh. Guys, this story is so insane. The story is insane. This is literally the story. Dude says, "Oh, this young white girl thinks she's gonna become Mrs. Cartwright. We need you to go and take care of this situation, all right? Because she thinks she's gonna break up this family." So what happens? That man goes and he takes care of the situation, and he deletes her from this reality. And of course, the main character, initially she thinks that her husband is a bad man, but in reality, he wasn't a bad man. He showed just how loyal he was. This college girl, she was nothing more than a fling for him, and she didn't know her place. And he told her to back off. She could have walked away. She could have, got a deletion. I'm not a fan of that, but she could have got a deletion, for that gestation. She had options. She could have given the gestation. She could have had the child, given it up for adoption, and moved on with her life. She had so many options. Or she could have raised the child on her own, and she could have used assistance from the state to do that, or even turn to family. She didn't do any of those things. It was even a possibility that she could have even later on said, listen, I'll keep the secret from your wife. I'm not going to go near your wife. I don't want to disrupt your family. But do you think you could help us? Like, I'll have the kid. I won't mess with your family. I won't mess with your life. And, you can help us every so often, help to, provide money or something like that. No, she decided that she wanted to become Mrs. Cartwright. And she effed around and then found out. Okay? You will never be Mrs. Cartwright. Guys, help get this channel to 100,000 subscribers by subscribing to the channel if you already have it. Like the video and turn on notifications to never miss another video ever again. Black women are facing extinction as Black men avoid them. Let me know what you think about everything we discussed in this video today. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away. And cheers.